British physician James Kyle Pritchard introduced the concept of moral insanity in his book, A Treatise on Insanity, published in 1835. James defined moral insanity as a condition where people displayed a lack of moral sensibility and social conscience. Yet they're not delusional or overtly mentally ill. His book laid the foundation for later psychiatric classifications and discussions surrounding antisocial behavior. To be clinically diagnosed, one must have three of these following criteria: failure to conform social norms associated with the law, manipulative in nature, impulsivity, irritability and aggressiveness, reckless disregard for other people, consistent irresponsibility, lack of remorse, or rationalizing after hurting others. This is what ASPD means clinically, but in the early 1990s, psychologist Theodore Millon proposed that there are subtypes of ASPD with each unique features. He did think of ASPD in two categories of antisocial and sadistic, which we know as sociopaths and psychopaths, but these are not in the DSM. It captures more diverse presentations of different ways ASPD can manifest, so I think it's very helpful. Operating on the fringes of society, we see the types that thrives by slipping through societal cracks. Difficult to categorize and hard to understand. They're not concerned with status symbols like designer suits or luxury watches. Instead, they might prefer a more messy appearance, living a lifestyle defined by unpredictability.
Who you are.
They could engage in manipulative behaviors, rallying others around radical ideas, and may even orchestrate shocking acts without remorse. It's a blend of detachment and chaos, where emotional disconnection meets a dangerous disregard for societal norms.
Here we go.
They're aggressive, sadistic, and constantly on edge, anticipating betrayal and responding with explosive reactions that are loud and visually striking. Unlike some antisocial types who can charm their way through social situations without revealing their true nature, malevolent types are antisocial and asocial. They harbor disdain for everyone around them, friends, family, co-workers. These people take pleasure in destruction. They're characterized by relentless yearning and bitterness, driven by envy and greed. They're consumed by a desire for what they do not possess, finding joy in taking from others rather than in the ownership itself. The archetypal psychopath who thrives on envy. If they've achieved wealth, they live in a lavish, meticulously designed apartment but loathe it simply because someone else has a slightly more luxurious one.
But that's nothing. Look at this.
That is really nice.
Eggshell with Romalian type. What do you think?
Nice.
Look at that subtle off-white coloring. The tasteful thickness of it.
If they're not wealthy, they might be the envious colleague sabotaging a coworker's success out of spite. For them, it's not just about what they want, it's about the pleasure of undermining others who have what they want. Living on the edge, they thrive in the exhilarating rush of danger and spontaneous actions. Driven by an insatiable need for excitement, they chase adrenaline like a lifeline, often seeking out experiences to push boundaries. Their choices can be impulsive, prioritizing thrills over caution, leading to reckless behavior that defies convention. They don't plan anything or that calculating. This is the clumsy sociopath who inevitably gets caught, believing they're infallible without any real skills to back it up. They expect people to fear them simply for their self-proclaimed greatness, despite lacking the substance to warrant that fear. This subtype is perhaps the most vulnerable, oscillating between being the closest to an empath.
Right, I'll do the steak of, the steak of
Steak fried.
Hey, don't do that. The man was speaking. Let him finish.
And the furthers from genuine connection. Your distress stems not from covetous and envy, but from a fragile self-image that's easily threatened.
I can't leave.
The fuck, you think I'm holding you hostage or something?
They fear any perception that undermines their inflated sense of self. For example, if you criticize their work or suggest they're not as talented as they think, they'll dismiss it as envy, convinced that you're just jealous of their formidable and indomitable power and strength. However, if they can't dismiss it from you and they think it's like genuine insults that undermine their greatness,
They're the basidio spores.
The fuck you just say to me?
then you had it coming, and the world's just a horrible place. It's not his fault.
Fuck me? Fuck the goddamn world!
And you don't matter anyways, you don't have friends. And humans are nothing but atoms in the universe anyways. This reckless attitude reflects a deeper lack of awareness or concern for consequences. They're living in the moment. It's like the future doesn't exist.